Okie dokie. It is 4:05 EST. Well, EDT. Hello, I hope you're doing well. My name is Yong Tran, and I am the Programs Associate of National Asian Pacific Islander American Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship, also known as National ACE. I'm excited to be here today as usual, as your Google expert. These workshops are designed to teach you how to take advantage of the free resources Google has to offer and take your business to the next level. These workshops are intended for entrepreneurs, business owners, and startups. We are proud to host these webinars as part of our AAPI Strong webinar series. Now, this particular webinar will be great for your marketing manager or those who are new and plan to launch a business. And so listen carefully. Today's agenda, first we'll be going through what is marketing and the customer journey, reach prospects and create awareness for your brand and company, engage and influence consideration, convert and pave the way to purchase, sustain loyalty and encourage advocacy, and as usual, recap and resources, and then a short Q&A if we have any questions. So let's start with marketing and the customer journey. These two things are very important. Now, what's marketing? While we as businesses are focused on making money, marketers are focused on making meaning. They are focused on making impact so that people remember your brand, remember your product, remember you, and in result makes purchases. And so great marketers don't make stuff, they make meaning. Now, as new entrepreneurs often are very passionate, they have all these great ideas, a product people need. A lot of them don't have much marketing experience. And so this is a great one-on-one for you. So what is marketing? Number one, it's creating meaning and telling a story. Two, building relationship, trust, and credibility. And then three, influencing customers along the journey. So what does that mean? Let's take a step back and break this down. When we are marketing to people, what we want is to have them like us, have them trust us, have them rely on our products to where we're credible, and have an emotional attachment to us and our brand, right? And so to do these things, we need to create a story, we need to create a meaning. And we also need to build that relationship with the customer. And then once those two are set, we need to make sure as marketers, we are influence them on every step of the journey. And next slide, I will break down what that journey looks like. And so what is the customer's journey? Awareness, consideration, purchase, and advocacy. Awareness is just, who are you? Do they know who you are? And then next is, if they know who you are they considering you as one of their options? The third, which a lot of people mistaken as last, is the purchase. They make that purchase, you get that sale, you get that money, amazing, great. But the last one is the most important. Have we built that relationship? Have we built that trust enough to where not only they purchase from you, they advocate for you by telling their friends, their family, oh my God, I bought the best pho in town. Let me bring you to this restaurant. They're so amazing. And so as marketers in these journeys, we need to make sure we influence them. And so how do we influence them? On the awareness section, we influence them by our reach. How do you reach your customers? Are you using ads? Are you using flyers? Are you using promotions? How do you get your name out there so they know who you are? In the consideration phase, As they're thinking through their different options and they're looking at your site or calling you for an answer, do you have the answer to their questions? Or are you engaging with them? This part is very important for you to develop that relationship and develop that trust. And then purchase. Right before the purchase, some people might back off. Some people might, decide, oh, I'll buy it later. When you know that they are a high potential customer, are you then doing things to encourage them to purchase your product? We'll get more into that later. And then lastly, advocacy. They already purchased your product. They're a good fan of your product. Or are you making sure that they are a loyal customer to your brand? And so if you are, we need to think about how to sustain them, how to make them loyal. And so during this webinar, I will be breaking down all 4 levels of the customer journey and how we as marketers will influence our prospects, the customer, to love us, like us, purchase our products. Okay? And as I mentioned before, I can only get questions if you are on our Zoom. And so if you have questions on our Facebook, please register on our Zoom on our site, and then I'll be able to answer those questions at the end. Now, reach prospects and create awareness. I actually just got a question right now. Will this presentation be shared to attendees today? I can definitely send them to you if you want. I will grab your email off or Zoom webinar and I'll send them to you, okay? Now, let's get back to it. Now, reaching prospects and creating awareness. How do you influence the customer at this stage of the journey? How do you reach them? Reaching them might look like a Google search, word to mouth, they're hearing it from their friends, advertising, trade show marketing, searching online. There are so many different ways for you to touch your customers, to let them know who you are. And so you need to make sure that you are everywhere and anywhere. But before that, you have to take a step back and think about who your customers are. Identify your customer, brand your business, and then get your business online. And so know who your customer is, build your brand around that customer, and then launch it. Now, when identifying customers, we are talking about 4 different market segmentations. And so I'm going to say this slowly so you can write this down. Please write this down or rewatch the video later, because not a lot of people think about these things when we think about these different market segmentations. So for demographics, most people think age, gender, ethnic background. It also includes religion, their income level, and their education level. And so those things all fall under the demographics. I'll repeat that one more time. Their age, their gender, their ethnic background, religion, income, and education level. Now, psychographics. Psychographics is what they are interested in, what they value, their personality characteristics, and their lifestyle. Geographics, most people know it's just a location, but it's more in depth than that. It's also the size and the density of where they live, the language that is spoken in that area, and the climate of where they live. And so if you're selling sweaters, you want to know the specific areas best to market a group of people who live in the cold, right? Because maybe you won't sell as many sweaters in the South where it's super hot. So you need to make sure you identify your market by their demographic, a physiographic, geographic, and last but not least, their behavior. So their behavior includes the frequency of their purchases. How often do they use your product if they do purchase that product? And then their level of loyalty. If they're the type of customer that tries new things every day, or they tend to just stick to that one brand. You want to make sure you check off your ideal customer with these different market segmentations so that you can build the best marketing plan and marketing strategy around that person. And so the customer persona, here's an example. Meet Metro Michaela. So she is a mid-30s female, single. She lives in a large city. She's college educated. She works in fashion. She's interested in cooking wine, and then travel. And she likes to shop locally. And so if this is your ideal customer, then if you're selling, I guess, track pants for your ideal customer, who is Michaela, who likes to walk around locally in a large city, who's educated and single, right? You want to make sure you're building your marketing plan around that customer persona. And this person might look different depending on your business. And so when you're building this person, you need to think about, how do you market to Michaela? How do you influence her? What channels to reach her? Is she the type of person who's maybe on Instagram or maybe on Facebook? Or if, since she shops locally, maybe a poster in her neighborhood might work, right? It's easier to plan that marketing strategy once you know your ideal customer persona. And if you don't know that person, then what you can do is you can get a focus group of people who you already serve and get an idea of, who they are so that you can market around them. So building your brand, building your business, branding your business, you might want to think about your logo and colors, any graphic elements, what kind of tone you want to say while messaging and sending voice messages to them. And so all of these things can look differently. There's no magic bullet of what will work best. Don't be afraid to try new things. Just make sure you're consistent in trying these things. Give it a little time to see how well it works for you before you jump and change it again. Excuse me. Now, branding is based on values and ideas. So create an identity that appeals to your prospective customers. And so this is not the customer, this is now you. You need to make sure that you appeal to your customer. We already built your ideal customer, now we're building you. So take a step back and think about who you are, who you want to be, who you stand for. And are these things important to your customer? Create a branding statement. Who do you serve? What do you offer? What differentiates you? Your promise or mission. So here's a little template. You can screenshot this if you need. For blank audience who blank blank have a challenge or need. Your company provides this product, this special thing, because we save puppies who are alone in the rain inside a box, right? Something that is a promise, something that is a mission, something that is compelling to where they remember you. And so here's a better example. So for working professionals who need a stylish and functional lunch bag, TW tote provides fashionable, insulated, vegan leather totes because everyone deserves a luxurious and functional lunch bag the entire family can use. You see how easy that was? It wasn't easy creating it. So definitely take a step back to see what you want to show your customers about you, right? Who you serve, what do you offer, how are you different, and what's your mission? And then last but not least, get your business online. And I've spoke about this in a previous webinar. Make sure you're using all your social media resources, the online marketplaces, if those are what fits you better, and any directories online. Make sure you have your website and that you own your website. I know a lot of small companies like to use another company's website and have, maybe their menu or have a portion of their site on another person's site. That's fine until it isn't, because if the website isn't yours, you're renting the space. And when you're renting the space, you are at the whim of the landlord, right? And so if your landlord decides to shut down, then you go without a site. And so you want to make sure that you own your own site, you control it, and it grows as your business grows. Another resource is to create a free business profile on Google. I've spoken about this before. Super easy. Just go on Google Business, claim your business. They'll send you a little envelope to that address to make sure that you own that business. You send in that confirmation code that you got in the mail, and you'll have access to your business profile on Google. Now, the second phase of the customer journey, yes, we've only went through phase one, is to engage and influence consideration. And so you get to make sure you engage your customer. So how do you influence the customer journey under consideration? You are gathering information, you are evaluating your brand. Can they find the answers they're looking for? If you have a focus group of your customers and they say, oh, I've always had the question about your hours and I've never figured it out until, someone told me that you don't open on Wednesdays. And it said nothing on that on your site, and it said nothing on that on your Google profile. And that deters customers away. We need to make sure we answer every single question the customer might have. And so while we're doing this, we need to make sure that we're learning and we're listening to what they're saying. We communicate and deliver answers that is of value to them. And we develop that relationship. Please, thank you. I appreciate you. Give us as much feedback as you possibly can. You want to use that professionalism during this stage. So during the learning and listening portion, you determine those pain points, address any challenges they might have, find out what they're searching for online. So if a customer knows nothing about your brand, knows nothing about your product, how do they look for you online, right? What are those keywords? What are those things that someone might want? Search on Google, or you the first link to pop up if they search those things. And you might not know what is in your customer's head. So I recommend a focus group so that they tell you, when I think of your brand, I think of these words. I search for these things, right? And a good tip is that when you're searching for XYZ, you scroll all the way on the bottom and you look at the related searches. and it'll appear below, as you can see right here. And if someone searches for bubble tea, they might also be searching for cakes, or they might be searching for a competitor brand. Whatever pops up right here is a good place for you to check to see what are other people searching while they're searching the things that might result in you, if that makes sense. You can also use Google Trends to help you seek those keywords. I've mentioned this before in a previous webinar. And just to reiterate, you want to make sure you communicate to your customers. Now, you can share your content through many channels, whichever one works for you. Some companies might not want to use social media and they want to use email instead. Others might be very dominant on YouTube and might not use YouTube at all. It depends on what's best for your company, what's best for your organization, what's best for your business. But what's important is that you want to use multiple, right? You want to have more than one so that you can increase traffic to your website, traffic to your business. While you are answering the questions and you are engaging with them, you want to make sure that you are sharing and not selling. People do not want to be sold. They want to be educated. And when they are educated, they have a good experience and they might buy and then they're sold, right? And so it's great to have a frequently asked questions page on your site, or a comparison of specs if you're selling different products, and to show your competitors to see how much yours is better. Demo videos are great. Webinars are great. Samples are also really good. You want to make sure that you're selling you're sharing valuable information to them. And to develop these relationships, we're solving their problems, we have conversations, and help them evaluate you. Now, I'm going to use Tracy and Danny, the mom and daughter duo of Wicked Good Cupcakes, as an example moving on. And so they did a great job in finding an interest. So they loved cakes, and so they went to a cake decorating class. That passion turned into business, and so they started selling cupcakes. When they got super popular, they realized that it was really hard to sell cupcakes through shipping. It just isn't as fresh. It doesn't taste as good. And so they found a solution to that. They put their cupcakes in jars to where it could be stored. It's still fresh. It's still tasty, even when it's being shipped and it's been a week, right? So they found an innovative way to fix their issue. And when they fixed that issue, they went to Shark Tank, got a deal, and then the rest is history. They were up and beyond, right? So now that they're successful in the first two stages, people know who they are, they have engaged with their customer, and they've solved the problem. This is now bringing your marketing and your business to the new level, right? So once they learned about their customers, they started taking a step back to identify opportunities to improve their site and give customers a reason to come back and share their experience, right? And so these are the next two phases of the marketing journey: purchase and advocacy. So convert and pave the way to purchase. When we're talking about purchase, we're talking about the people who are likely to buy. And when people are super likely to buy, how do you make these leads turn into customers? One, you need to identify key actions of these ready customers. and then share timely call to actions to these customers, and then streamline the purchase process. I'm going to take a step back. That was a lot. So sorry. Let me explain this further. And so identifying actions, right? Those key actions to know that they're a ready customer. They might have signed up for your email. They might have completed a form for you. You saw that they downloaded something on your site. They requested a demo. They downloaded an app. They called you, or they even just placed an item in your cart and then they walked away and didn't buy it. These are close to purchase actions where they just didn't buy yet. And so you need to identify these are your ready to go customers. You just need to give them that extra push. So that extra push is called a timely call to action. And so I don't know if you noticed this, but maybe you were on Grubhub and you put something in your cart and you realize, oh my God, that was way too expensive. I'm not going to buy this anymore. And so you left Grubhub and you made some food on your own. But then like 10 minutes later, you get a discount promo from Grubhub saying that, hey, are you still interested in this restaurant? There's actually a 5% off today. Oh my God, lucky you. What a good deal. Actually, that was not a lucky you. That was their way of taking a customer that would have walked away and making them turn into a purchase. And so that timely call to action, they sent you that discount or deal. You know, some companies might also send you an exclusive offer. They might invite you to a webinar or an event. They might send you a testimony of a happy customer, or they might say, hey, free shipping next 24 hours, or add value to that product. And so now that you've got them ready to buy, you've got them convinced, you need to make sure that the purchasing process is as simple as possible. You do not want them to run away because it's too complicated. So make sure there are the least steps to checkout as possible. Reduce the number of checkout steps. If you want them to sign up for that extra data on and information from them, you might lose customers. And so it's a great option to offer a guest checkout where they don't have to sign in. They don't have to make an account. They're just a guest. They grab the product and they check out. And then you got to make sure you provide some added value, service, or benefits. I mean, all of these are options, but the most important part is making sure you make it easy as possible. Oh, great example. I don't know if you order Domino's, because I order Domino's pizza a lot, but you know, I go throughout that checkout section, and at the very end, they're like, hey, do you want extra cheese on that? You know, that's the added value or services. That's the benefits where they're like, hey, do you want lava cake with that? And I'm like, do I want lava cake with that? But then I might buy it or I might not. But at the end of the day, I'm buying that pizza. You want to make sure your customer is very happy. They feel good about their purchase. They think they're getting a great deal. And you know what? Since they already feel good, why not buy that lava cake? So after that, let's talk about Google Analytics. Google Analytics is a free tool you can use to understand visitor behavior on your website or mobile app. And so this is a way for you to figure out what are they doing on your site? Are they leaving right before they purchase? You know, what websites are more popular than others? What products are more popular than others? Google Analytics helps you do all of that. I have a webinar on Google Analytics in either next week or the week after that, but definitely sign up for that and I'll see you on Zoom. So backtrack a bit. Another way to convert customers to another way to convert leads to customers is online advertising. And so, as my previous webinar spoke about, you can use ads to make sure that you're in their face, you're touching them multiple different points. They are aware of who you are, they are thinking about you. The ads show at the right time when they need something. And you got to make sure you got all the formats. It looks great on the computer, it looks great on the phone, it looks great on, their tablet, whatever else. Google Ads will help you with that. And then last but not least, I'm going through this a lot quicker than I expected. But this is the last portion of the customer journey, and that's sustaining loyalty and encouraging advocacy. So, advocacy. How do they become loyal customers? That's the key word today, loyal customers. So you can build loyal customers by building value. And these value might look like programs and incentives. And so a lot of the big businesses, you see that sometimes they want you to have a card. You sign up to their email, you sign up for their credit card, their membership, et cetera, et cetera. And so instead of going to Safeway, they might go to Trader Joe's because they have a card with Trader Joe's, right? You want to get them a loyalty to your brand. And you want to encourage them to tell their friends about you. And so to build customer loyalty, it's good to stay in touch, provide great customer service, ask for feedback, continuously improve. This is a work in progress. You want to make sure that you're improving consistently and delight them in unexpected ways. You might do you might do a gift lottery system where, anyone who purchases XYZ, anyone who's your usual customer, they are in the running for a chance to win XYZ gift cards. Or you're sending them a free gift just because that they've purchased for you before or they've purchased from you consistently. They want to make them feel like you care about them, and you want to make sure that they're delighted by you. They feel good about you. A great way of doing of sustaining customer loyalty is doing VIP and exclusive offers, discounts and perks, and personal programs. And so Wicked Good Cupcakes have a lot of different options of that, where they're like, if it's your birthday, then there's an exclusive offer of a discounted cupcake, et cetera, et cetera. And when you've developed that good relationship with your customer, you can then ask them, hey, do you mind writing me an online review? Because most of the people who write online reviews are your biggest fans, and you want to make sure that they are supporting you not only through their money, but also through their testimonies. And so have them write that Yelp review or that Google review. Maybe ask them, hey, can I just take your picture and your story so that I can post on my site? That testimony means a lot. Referral programs are also a great incentive where you tell your customer, hey, if you bring me a new customer, you get 50% off your next purchase. Contests are really great, and social media sharing is very great. One that was recently done was the Venmo one with Instagram, where if you post your Venmo, share with your friend, and then post on your story, you are in the running for $100 to $500. That's something that Venmo has done twice this year, if I recall correctly. And moving on, tips for managing reviews. Remember, you're replying publicly, so anyone can see what you write. So if anyone can see what you write, you need to be cautious of what you wrote, okay? Respond promptly, so within 24 hours, within 2 days, I think that's fine. Write genuine, polite, and short messages. Share your point of view in a polite, genuine, short way. Give them a solution, an answer, thank them. And then avoid offering incentives or advertisements. And so if you're having trouble with a customer, try not to be like, oh, if you come back, I'll give you a discount. That leaves a really bad taste on people's mouth. You want to make sure that you made them feel like you heard what they said and that you are moving to becoming better in the future. So of your list of people who can be an advocate, of course, is your customers. It can also be your employees, partners, and vendors. And then you can also use influencers and affiliates. So influencers are the new thing today. They're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they are on other social platforms. You can hire these people or you can send free gifts to these people so that they can promote your product on their social platform. And so influencers are a great way to get your name out there. Having vendors and partners of yours putting your logo out there is also really great. Having your employees advocate for you, that's also great. It's more than your customers, but it also is also your customers. And then we are done there. So recap and resources. Where we want to make sure they are aware of us, they are considering us, we're reaching them, and we are engaging them. So identify your customers, build your brand, get your business online, listen and learn, communicate and deliver value, and develop relationships. Screenshot this if you need to. I'll give you a couple seconds. Okay, moving on. And then the second part, the second half of the customer journey, the purchase and the advocacy. We are converting leads to purchases. We want the almost purchases to become purchases, and we want the purchases to become loyal customers. And so identify key actions and ready customers, share timely call to action, streamline the purchase process, build customer loyalty, sustain customer loyalty, and encourage advocacy. Q&As. Do I have any questions? I answered the first one earlier. I can definitely send you the presentation. You can also get the presentation on a resource I'm about to share very soon. Another question is, we are an e-commerce business. We sell more than one thing. How do I know if I'm targeting the right audience? I think I'm targeting the right audience, but I'm not sure. Good question. And so when we're online, we think everyone is our target audience. And so we're trying to reach everywhere. But I think the first thing you need to do is collect data. If you already collected data, then go into your analytics and see who's actually making these purchases. You might be surprised to find out, oh, your main customers or women ages 21 to 35, who live in the city, who tend to shop a lot. And so if that's your main customer base, then that is your target audience. And so you need to find ways to market to them specifically. What time do these women usually online, right? What are they searching for the most? What other platforms do they tend to be on? Because you want more customers who are like that, who are like your customer persona. And if you haven't been collecting data, it's better late than never. Start now. Collect that data. Do what you usually do. Wait a couple months. Look at your customer base and see what's the commonality of your customers. There usually is a commonality, and that is your customer. That is your target customer. This is also a very good question. What's a good call to action? And so again, there's no silver bullet. There's no, this is the best way to do things. You can tell them to sign up for your email. You can tell them to do X, Y, and Z, but it's all about testing different things, because marketing, you can do so much with marketing, and then, well, actually take that back. Marketing is a working process. You're testing and trying to see what works best for you. And so don't be afraid to test different things. Make sure you set a marketing budget aside so that you can test these different things to see what works best for you. And once you figure out what works best for you, go for it. Another question, does this principle apply to small nonprofits? A great question. Whether you're a small nonprofit, a big nonprofit, any type of nonprofit, the process is essentially the same. You just switch the word purchase to the word donate, right? Or whatever goal you're trying to do. So as marketers, we are influencing prospects to do what we want. And so if you do not want them to purchase something, instead want to donate something, you're still interacting with them in different stages of the customer journey, right? It's just the goal is different, worded different in this case. I have a question about YouTube. So, do I need to have a YouTube page? I've heard that I can make a lot of money, but I need a lot of subscribers. That is true and not true. I mean, it depends on the situation. So having a YouTube channel is a great way to promote your business. Yes, there are some people who make a lot of money on YouTube, but in actuality, most businesses just use it as a platform to give more information to customers. And so their goal is to reroute that attention back to their site to do something else, And so to do that, you don't need to have a lot of subscribers on YouTube if your end goal is to get someone to subscribe to your newsletter. YouTube is just a great free platform for you to use. If you do end up having a bunch of subscribers and make $1 zillion from it, amazing. But if not, then that's fine. Don't be afraid to play with YouTube. And also, running a YouTube page is a full-time job. And so if you don't have that time and capacity to do so, just use it as a platform to share information. Okay? And last one. So I've been denied. I have been denied for a Google business account for my e-commerce company because I did not have a physical address. Okay, so this is a very good question. And so Google Business is tied to Google Maps. And so if you don't have an address for your company, you cannot have a Google Business account. But what you can do is you can still use Google as a platform to promote your site and have your website come up in the search engine by, different techniques I mentioned 2 webinars ago. What was it? Reach your customers online with Google. Yes, that webinar will be great for your e-commerce company, but that is correct. You cannot have a Google My Business if you're e-commerce. Okay, and so last question of the hour is, where do I get my marketing training? Was it a college major, online course, mentor, self-study, etc.? There are a number of online marketing courses. Do you personally offer consultation services or reviewing and making suggestions for website and marketing? I get my training from Google, right? So Google partners with national aids to host these trainings. And so I am trained to learn all of these marketing, all of this marketing training. Sorry, backtrack. I am trained all these marketing tools and resources so that I can teach you. And so this PowerPoint, all of this information comes directly from Google themselves. And do I personally offer marketing suggestions and consultations? I do not. But if you have some questions, I can definitely answer them. I can also advise you to use other free resources. And if you decide to, consult with a marketing company, you definitely can do so. But I can, at most, I can help you with the basics of marketing. If you're trying to do more advanced things, then I do recommend a professional consultant. And so, great. That is a great lead to my couple final slides. If you want to learn more about Grow with Google and different webinars we offer, please visit our Small Business Resource Center site. You can definitely check out all the upcoming events. I also post the recordings of these events at the very bottom of the same page. Register with our Zoom so that I can see your questions. And Google also offers an app called Google Premier. And this is great tips and tricks of business and marketing lessons. So they're super quick and easy lessons on your phone. And you can learn whatever you want in a few minutes for free. And so all of these are very practical and personalized next steps. Google also provides free online training and tools at google.com/grow. And so if you're sick of listening to me talk, you can listen to them talk, but come and listen to me talk sometimes. And this is great for teachers, students, local businesses, job seekers, and developers. I also want to promote our API Strong Legislative Conference on October 6th to 8th. That's 10 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. EDT. We have an amazing panel. Look at all these different ambassadors, senators, council people. Check it out. It's a three-day conference. And you definitely do not want to miss out. Thank you so much for being here today. If you have any questions, you have my email. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.